Honorable, Western Togoland.
Yes.
More things are happening there. What is the way forward for the government?
The Western Togoland issue, I think we should see simply as a criminal activity.
Okay.
And not glorify it, not create heroes out of these sort of misguided miscreants. Okay? Why do I say so? What is the basis of this? Look, those of you in Britain, you can understand it better perhaps than Ghanaians. Way back in 1605,
Yes.
when they brought in the Scots and the Brits
Yes.
as planters in Ireland. And that's where the issues about the Irish issues actually started.
Yes.
And as late as the early 19th century,
Yes.
I think it was May 1926 or thereabout, when they divided Northern Ireland from Southern Ireland. Southern Ireland. That's when these matters happened. So it was sectarian, it was ethnic as well.
Yes.
You saw what it is. And it was clear, because on one side you had maybe six provisional, IRA, real IRA, and all the so-called IRAs, and then you had the Ulster Army and the Revolution Forces. It's another 6 on the other side. But it was pretty clear where it was, and where the geography is, and the ethnic mix, and the rest of it. And wanted to, one side, the so-called Republicans wanted to be part of Ireland, and the nationalists or the Protestants wanted to be part of Britain, as it were. What really is the basis of this? What is the historical basis for this? Because where they were talking about, if you go into history, the Plebiscite of 1956, Anglo was not part of it. Anglo was very much part of the Gold Coast. It was settled. It's not as if, what did I say? The Plebiscite, it was only Ho Pando and some aspect of Oti, and then you go all the way to Mamprusi, to Dagbon, and the Gonjas, some of the lands that were part of the Plebiscite. That's really, so what is the historical or geographical basis of this so-called what would they call themselves? Western voter.
Yes.
Were they even part of the trans-voter arrangement? When in 1916, because from 1884 to 1916, that's when 1884, we all know what happened, the so-called scramble of Africa. And then the Germans took Togo. And then when you had the First World War, 1916, and then became what? British sort of protectorate and the rest of it. So when you look at the French and the Brits, essentially divided it. And the part where a lot of these arguments are now today about this so-called Western voter. Where's the Western voter? It's not as if it was, you could say they were part of somewhere. Which part of it was part of somewhere? Anglo was always part of the Gold Coast arrangement. What am I saying? So the people who are pushing this, do they even understand the history or the geography? And what is happening is that, and there's something that I think we should correct in Ghana. Because of politics, and maybe because of some history, there's a sense that, and especially this happens sometimes when you have a change of government, there's a sense that the people of the voter region are being victimized or have been discriminated against. Now, if that's the case, then you could say that for the longest period of the Fourth Republic, okay, the party that has been in office is a party that aligns itself with the voter region, and the voter region people vote for all this way. So I'm not, and you can see a lot of the MPs, including the whole of what is now voter, there isn't a single NPP MP there. Now I'm really
travel sentiments.
I'm trying to make an argument. My argument really is that, and the people of voter are not a minority. in Greater Accra today, there are more Voltarians than than Gans. The Voltarians, according to the 2010 census, were the largest ethnic group, more than the Ashantis, more than the Gans themselves. So they are not a minority, ultimately. And everywhere, in terms of the most successful people, whether educated, so we shouldn't, but for politics, people create a sense that the Voltarians are being discriminated against. Who are the Voltarians that have been? This is a major block in our nation. Okay? I saw a statement issued by the chiefs, and when you see the statement, I was saddened by the statement because it creates the impression that it tries to talk about the sense that as if government is at fault for what is happening.
In terms of bringing togetherness,
I think really, look, it's a very, first of all, government has a responsibility to you and I, to all Ghanaians. The first responsibility of government or the state is law and order. Yeah. So let's not, and I ask my friends in the media, let us not create heroes out of these people. Some will call them rebels, and please, let us not do that. And let the system deal with them. I mean, there was a point, it was pretty obvious, that I remember when they arrested them, people were saying, Ghanaians actually thought it was a joke. People ridiculed this group, the group with Papa V, when the face came up. People ridiculed it. Yeah. Okay? And then you have to be careful that you don't create a hero of it. But now they've crossed over the precipice, as I call it. Okay? And it's obvious that, but it must be crushed. As far as I'm concerned, it's a criminal act, and that's even in the voter regional chiefs. Yes.
But a way forward so that peace.
But I'm coming. The way forward is law and order. Let's make sure we're on top of the law. But the way forward is that we don't play NPP and DC politics with it. Okay? And the government is in a very difficult position because if it doesn't get the support of the chiefs and the MPs, because, like I said, the whole of the voter region is controlled by NDC. So if you don't get support from those that they trust, okay, because they are their political leaders, they are their chiefs and elders. If you don't get support, and then there's a mistrust. That's what these so-called miscreants, they feed on that. Okay, but the issue of creating a state, it is neither here nor there, because it's not as if it's the wish of the people. Who are the people? The people don't wish for that. The difficulty we have, like I'm saying, is that you have a government that has no serious support at where the issue is. So it will have to rely or work in close partnership with the chiefs, the MPs, and other elders of the area. And it's important that they ease the tension. Don't think that, because you've heard statements from Free Anchor and the rest of them, the government is behind it. For what purpose would it serve any government? Was not.
Ghanaians are tired of pettiness. Ghanaians are tired of mismanagement. Ghanaians are tired of incompetence, and that is
Ghana have only problem here because they are free SHS. That is not the reality. It is a mockery.
So a man who says he's fighting corruption, how can he use land gas to take people's lands and properties from them?